When it comes to Sonic games, the OST is one of the aspects that people look forward to the most. Even if a game is generally considered pretty bad, around 8 out of 10 times, the soundtrack of said game is at least very enjoyable to listen to. Usually in Sonic games, the levels or zones are divided into numbered acts, and since Sonic 3, it has been tradition for Act 2 to have a sort of different rendition of Act 1 or a completely different rendition altogether. And today, I want to bring attention not to the tracks in Act 1, but in Act 2, which are usually some of my favorites and preferred versions of the songs. I believe that the tracks from Act 1 are more popular than the Act 2 ones, with some few exceptions. And it's time to give Act 2 songs the spotlight, because let's face it, when people mention something like, I really like the music from Asteroid Coaster, they're 95% of the time referring to this, than this. So here's a few of my personal favorite Act 2 tracks from the Sonic the Hedgehog games. It wouldn't be a Xilvious video without some Sonic 3 and Knuckles glaze here and there. Yeah, to me, this is the biggest no-brainer of the whole video. This rendition of Act 2 of Hydrocity is simply amazing. Like I said before, Sonic 3 was the first game to start this idea of having a different track for Act 2, and this one just completely delivered. While Act 1 is not a bad song by any means, Act 2 just has this more upbeat and catchy melodies. Usually water levels have more laid-back themes, but this one is the complete opposite of that, and it still manages to capture that water level vibe. Now, how about we grab everything from Act 1 and make it better? Flying Battery Act 2 is just that. The iconic riff in the beginning, those Genesis-like sounds, the high-pitched synth, and the faster-paced chorus melody from Act 1 really makes you feel like you're traversing this giant armored airship. All of these factors combined makes this track my favorite rendition of Flying Battery Zone. It's so good that it makes me sad knowing what's coming after this. Oh no. Breaking news! Act 2 of Studiopolis is next, and this track is way better than the one from Act 1. Yeah, Act 1 is pretty good, but it ain't for me. Yeah, shocker, I know. Don't get me wrong, I still like it, but Act 2 gets overshadowed by it a lot, while being more interesting in my opinion. I also really enjoy how Act 2 starts with this massive TV broadcast, and the intro bit really does a good job transmitting that feeling. In fact, the whole track feels like this giant TV show breaking news report while keeping the more enjoyable parts of Act 1 intact. Now this rendition of Studiopolis is a banger. I know Sonic, give me a second dog, I'm vibing right now. Press Garden Act 2 is just a banger, man, what else can I say? It has a very strong Japanese influence in its melody thanks to instruments like the shakuhachi, which is a bamboo flute. The synths sound amazing and do a really good job matching that cherry blossom winter aesthetic going on in this level. Just take a listen to this part and tell me this isn't the most amazing thing you've ever heard in your life. And yeah, this song also really reminds me of Erika's iconic reaction to it. We still talk about you, man. Rest in peace. Okay, I promise this is the last Sonic Mania song on this list, but come on, you knew this was coming. The Act 1 version of this song isn't bad by any means, but this track is probably the best in all of Sonic Mania. T-Lopes absolutely understood the assignment with this one. The mix of those synthesizers with the trumpets and flutes makes this track stand out so much, and can we please just appreciate how good this part of the song is. I don't know what kind of magic T-Lopes used on this, but the studio must have been completely on fire for how good this song is. This song. This is the song that made me want to make this whole video. People love Planet Wisp Act 1 a lot, but to me, Act 2 is where it's really at. That slow, peaceful intro really makes you feel like you're going through a vast field of grass without a care in the world. This rendition of Planet Wisp is, to me, one of those tracks that grabs everything from Act 1 and just adds more elements to it, making it more unique and interesting. That bass in the intro song's incredible. The added synths remind you that this is still an alien planet that you're going through. The calmer instrumentation throughout the whole song also does a really good job at making parts like this one stand out more. This is a song that never fails to cheer me up. It sounds amazing, and I'm glad I got to finally yap about this song. If Act 1 gives you those going to the beach vibes, then Act 2 gives you that feeling of leaving the beach when the sun is finally setting. This is a very nostalgic track, filled with beautiful melodic synths, and if you pay close attention, you can notice a backing guitar that goes way harder than it needs to. Overall, a really nice, refreshing tune to listen to. Yeah, Sonic 4 tracks. Remember those? Well, this game actually has some decent songs in it, in episode 2 at least. And White Park Zone Act 2 is one of my favorites. It's pretty much a slowed down rendition of the Act 1 track with a different instrumentation, and it still manages to capture that winter, more Christmas-like vibes. Also, for some reason, the added melody feels very familiar. Huh, that was a nice callback to Twinkle Park. It actually fits here very well. Yeah, another Sonic 4 Episode 2 song. I'm telling you guys, there are some hidden gems in here. Unlike the first act of Sky Fortress, which is the most boring and generic song in this game, Act 2 actually delivers a high-energy track with fast-paced electronic drums, and it sounds just amazing. I'm personally not a fan of how they try to mimic the Genesis sound font with the OST in Sonic 4, but this one gets a pass. I believe it actually sounds pretty good here. oh man, it's time to let T-Lopes in the kitchen again because that man cooked with this one. Act 2 of Lagoon City is next, and this one is a completely different rendition of Act 1. It's smooth, calm, funky, and has a chorus so majestic it makes you feel like you're ascending to heaven. Also, fun fact, this theme was actually supposed to be for a hidden palace zone for Sonic Mania, but was scrapped during development. Thankfully, this amazing track wasn't gone to waste, as T-Lopes decided to use it for Superstars. And thank God he did it, because it's a banger. Now, if I hear any of you, and I mean anyone, disagreeing that Sweet Mountain Act 2 is better than Act 1, we're gonna have a serious talk, cause you might need your ears checked. That intro is so smooth it's almost criminal, and that added guitar? Bro, those guitar riffs are one of the best ones I've heard in a Sonic level period. Just listen to it yourself. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think I need to say anything else about this one. It's straight up fire. Yeah, you know it, I know it. This track is one of the more popular ones in Sonic Lost World, and it's easy to understand why. It's very inspired by East Asian musical aesthetics, thanks to the flute that carries most of the main melody in this. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is called a piccolo flute, and it sounds great on this track. The drums, bass, and the electronic synths all mix together nicely to create this traditional yet modern feel that we know and love from Sonic games. This soundtrack also reminds me of Dragon World from Sonic Unleashed, which is one of my personal favorites, so extra biased points here and there. Does this count? Well, it's technically the second stage of the first zone, so meh, whatever. This is my video, so I say it counts. When it comes to cyberspace levels from Sonic Frontiers, 1-2 is one that stands out a lot among the others. The good old drum and bass along with the more electronic bass lines and melodic synths mix really well with each other. It makes it a really catchy tune. But the best part about this song? The vocals. While very short and loops back quickly, it doesn't feel repetitive at all. In fact, it just adds up to the catchiness of the track. Props to Yuri, the vocalist of this song, and the other tracks in Sonic Frontiers. Honestly, I think one of the reasons why this track also got so popular among the fans is the fact that 1-2 is a pretty hard level to get an S rank. It has a really random difficulty spike, and the time needed to get an S rank was really tight, which led to people retrying over and over and over to S rank it, while listening to this track along the way. And yeah, that's the list of Act 2 songs that I find better than their Act 1 counterparts. I do want to give an honorable mention to City Escape Act 2 and Crisis City Act 2 from Sonic Generations. I just didn't include them because they have the whole classic and modern thing going for that game, but still, they're really good songs, and my favorite versions of those tracks. But what about you? What Act 2 songs do you prefer? Tell me down below in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like if you did, and if you subscribe, you will receive this amazing shadow car for free! I want to give a shout out to KCKM1 and Spyinator for the YouTube members. See you later, guys.